Templars, you tell me if you have gotten used to having soft beds in like single rooms, because the Templars do not have that for you. They put you up in a little bunk room, 2 sets of bunk beds and like a closet, and also there's a chair. Can you imagine the decadence?
I love this. This is great. This whole soft bed thing has been weird, and I didn't like it, and so this is excellent.
I just look at the chair like, how kind of them to include a chair.
Unnecessary, but it's fine.
Oh no, Elian's 100% used to soft beds.
Of course.
Leander sort of wordlessly sets his bag down on the bottom bunk, just sort of looking around.
It's a chair, Elian. They didn't have to give us one.
Okay, it's better than camping, okay?
Oh, good. That's exactly what I wanted you to say.
Not gonna sleep well anyway.
Did you want to talk about that?
I stare, interested.
Oh god, okay.
Leander's still in the room.
Yeah, which is why Elian doesn't really want to talk. Thanks for pointing that out. Okay, so Faith.
So Elian, as soon as you say Faith, you feel something lurch up in the back of your head. And it is Compassion. And he is fluttering. You can feel him like fluttering in the back of your throat. Like he's eager to say something. He wants, like, when you're possessed, you can't like communicate like you would talk. Communication with him is just sort of a feeling that happens inside of you. And you can tell immediately that Compassion wants to come out. He wants to talk to them. He wants to take over your body and talk.
Oh god. That's a new feeling. I think his initial reaction is to like kind of swallow against that. Like, you feel something rising in your throat, you swallow against it. Especially because Leander's still in the room. God fucking damn it. Well, he's gonna know we made bad decisions soon anyway.
Yeah.
I'm like looking back and forth at the two of you like, what the fuck is going on?
I let him take over.
Ooh!
Elian, you blink once, and when you're done blinking, your eyes are white.
Cool, excellent.
Compassion sort of lurches your body forward toward the other two, and he says, Faith? Justice? And then Cassandra and Sabre, you feel it too. You feel a presence, like, right at the back of your throat that's itching to come out and talk.
I, like, stumble backwards and I'm, like, trying to find my spear. Like, I'm like...
Oh, great.
I, like, try to put, like, a calming hand on you. I'm like, Yoria, yours is justice?
What the fuck? What the fuck is his eyes are white? Who is that? What is this the demons I've heard about?
I'm Compassion, and you're Yariel, and you're Cassandra. Please, can I talk to Faith? Can I talk to Justice, please? It's been so long. And this is Elian's, he's using Elian's mouth.
Right.
But it's not Elian's voice.
I'm, like, looking at Cassandra, like, frantically, just being like, how do we cast it out? How do we...
He's not a demon, Yariel. This is Compassion. He's a soul. He's a friend.
I should remind you, both of you are feeling that presence in the back of your throats. Like, they're both really eager to talk. Like, they want to come out.
And Faith really wants to see him. She said it's been ages when I spoke to her last.
I feel like something's trying to escape me. Is this the demon?
The one you made a deal with, if it's Justice, is not a demon.
Oh, he did say his name was... How did you know that?
Faith mentioned Compassion and Justice were old friends of hers.
Compassion Elian is sitting there sort of vibrating, just waiting for you to make a decision.
I'm going to just, like, it's fine, and sit down and let Faith take over too, to talk to.
Faith immediately swallows up your consciousness, and she immediately, the first thing Faith does is launch herself forward at Compassion, and just picks up Elian in a giant hug. Like, she picks up Elian's entire body. She's like, I'm taller than you! Compassion, I'm finally taller than you! And Compassion is laughing. He's like, Faith, I can't believe you're here! And they both embrace tightly. He's like, do you remember what happened? I can't remember what happened. And she says, I can remember bits and pieces of it. I remember what happened right before we fell. We were in Arlathon, right?
I'm just, like, horrified.
Justice is still at the back of your throat, Sabre. He wants in bad.
Yeah.
And, like, I would I know how to, like, give in to this, even if I, like...
It would be an instinctual thing, yeah. Like, it's not, like, you don't have to be a mage, like, hey, can I do this thing? And all you have to be is like, yeah, and then Justice will figure it out for you.
This is horrifying.
They did just mention a big word, though.
Yeah, they did.
Yeah, I think I'm gonna address that. Like, from the floor, I croak out, What are you? What?
They both turn to you, and I think it's Faith who comes, so Cassandra, who sort of hurries over and, like, bends down over you, and she says, can Justice come out? And it's Cassandra's body, but not Cassandra's voice.
Giant horned woman.
When are you gonna give Cassandra back?
I just want to say hello. I'll give her control back, please. I haven't seen Justice in so long.
I think I just give in, because this is just too much. This is like a...
Cassandra's entire body leaning over you like, let me talk.
It's the equivalent of fainting. I just sort of, like, give up.
And as soon as you give up the reins, you feel Justice surge forward. And the first thing Justice does is wrap up Faith in a big hug. And he says, I am not used to you being taller than me, Lethalon. And Faith is absolutely delighted, and she hugs him back too. She says, I can't believe we're all here. I can't believe we all survived. And Ellie Compassion says, wow, Justice, I can't believe it either. I never thought I'd see you again. And Justice, so here's something interesting for you, Sabrae. When Justice turns your eyes to look at Compassion, you feel something in Justice, and you realize it's, like, affection. Not, like, just affection, but love.
Oh.
You think Justice might be in love with Compassion.
Oh! My!
That's terrible.
Right. Wrong bodies for that, bro. We like different people.
And he, like, takes a couple steps toward Compassion, and he, like, cradles Ellie Compassion's face in his hands, and he says, it is so good to see you again, Lethalon. He says, do you remember what happened? I think Faith is right. I think we were in Arlathan. I remember now, with a little more clarity. It was right before the day that Pride was saying he had some attack plan ready, right? That we were going to fight and strike down the Evan Eurus for good. And Evan Eurus, I would like to, Sabrae, quick aside for you.
Yeah.
Evan Eurus is the elven word for God. It specifically refers to the creators. So Mythal, Elgarnon, that's the one that your Valisleen honors, Elgarnon.
Okay.
Gilladane, June, all the elven gods. And so to hear them talking about striking down the gods is a little bit worrying.
This is concern. Oh god, this is all gonna bleed back to that stupid conversation with Lane and Solus, isn't it?
Yep, probably.
Mm-hmm.
He says, we were gonna strike them down. Pride said he had some idea, but he wouldn't tell us what it was. And then, I remember I think we were in the Healing Bay, we were with the latest batch of slaves that we freed, and then an explosion or something. He says, I don't remember what happened. Do you? And Justice says, my host, Yariel, he was close to an elf that we spoke with earlier. He says, he seemed familiar. He felt familiar. Did you see him too? And Compassion says, yeah, my host answered the door for him. He does seem familiar.
Fuck. I
called
Oh no.
He says, I think we might need to talk to him. I think he knows something.
No. Mm-mm.
it. I fucking called it.
Yeah. If I can express an emotion to Faith, who is now in my body, I'm like,
you are all still absolutely they've just swapped places, right? Like, instead of you having the reins, it's them having the reins, and you're able to talk, so you can.
I express the emotion of maybe not do that. Like, no, panic.
Faith stops a little bit, and she says, Cassandra doesn't seem to want us to. And Justice through you says, why? It's like, I admit, the one that this host is talking to, it's honestly kind of gross the way that they carry on with each other, but there was some sort of history or something. I should really pay more attention.
From behind you hear, fuck you. I express the emotion of fuck you very loudly.
And Justice says, as if to himself, oh, it is gross, come on. You two are pathetic.
Express the emotion of multiple, middle fingers being pointed at his face.
He says, like, one of these days, I'm just gonna take over while you're talking to him and just kiss him. And
Oh!
we'll thank you for it later.
Horror. Just sheer horror and anger.
And Compassion Alien is giggling in the background.
Elian's giggling too.
Does that count as cheating? I don't know if that counts as cheating.
The question of, is it a threesome if the spirit is involved? Oh boy.
I think I'm, fighting to come back out because, whatever the fuck, this has been an upsetting conversation for the 30 seconds.
Just like, all right, give it a second. And he turns back to the two of you and says, I don't know how long it's going to be before we're able to talk again. Maybe we can do it when they dream tonight. And Compassion and Faith both nod, and he says, all right, once they fall asleep, I'll try to find you. And then Justice abruptly gives you control of the reins again, Sabre.
I come back, gasping for air. I know that's not really what happened, but I'm just this was a very upsetting experience.
Yeah, you really don't like that.
I'm staring at the presumably still possessed Cassandra and Elian, and I'm going, what are you?
Faith smiles at you, and Compassion winks. And they say, you know who we are. And then they both give you both back control of your bodies.
There we go.
What the fuck?
So, hands up if you think that is soulless.
Of course it was soulless.
Whatever the fuck he did.
So, Sabre, you actually never connected the dots before because you're kind of a dumbass.
Yeah.
But Solas, the word in Elven, means pride.
Oh, shit. Oh.
And actually, now that you're thinking about it, the Elven word for faith is Anaris. The Elven word for justice is Daernthal. The Elven word for compassion is Geldorin.
Oh,
Interesting!
shit.
Interesting!
God, that's what, episode 3, 2?
I think it was 2.
It's a callback.
I forgot about that. Okay. I'm looking around and I'm I don't know how we all got infected with.
We didn't get infected, we said yes.
That's up for debate.
Justice very pointedly reminds you of the dream. You get a flash of the dream where you said yes to him.
Yes, fine. Shut up already.
And then you get the impressions don't fucking go to bat if you're not prepared to swing, motherfucker.
Lol.
You see me roll my eyes at myself, which is a fun experience, I'm sure. I looking around the rest of you, and I'm this is. You probably don't even understand the implications of this. This is upsetting.
Among other things, Sabre, it is kind of proof positive of what Lennon told you about the elven gods.
I know, which I told you I was putting off and trying not to think about.
I just look at you, Yariel, and I'm your everything is upsetting to you, though.
It's not the point, Cassandra.
You can feel Faith giggling in the back of your head, Cassandra.
I'm I'm pacing the room now, and I'm I have to talk to Lannon. Oh God, I have to talk to Lannon. Oh fuck.
Yeah.
Justice in the back of your head's oh, don't whine about it. You know you want to.
Shut up!
It is a good thing we brought him then, isn't it?
Anyways, we have to talk to Lannon. I don't even know. I'm half tempted to go do it right now, but
But he's still in Valredo, and you're out here in the
that's not gonna happen. I guess we'll have to talk to him tomorrow.
Out of town. Out of the office at the moment. Please leave a message.
So they've been with you the whole time? I turn back to you too.
What do you mean the whole time?
Did it start around the time there were the mysterious explosions in the alleyway?
It sure did.
That's when I spoke to her, Faith, first. Yes.
Shortly after, I obviously I didn't say yes until recently.
And so that's what happened to you at the right with Leander. I turned back to Elian.
He blanches, but yeah.
I'm what did happen?
Elian's eyes turned white, and he was not participating in the fight.
Compassion explains to you, with a thought, Elian, he didn't want, Compassion's not a fighter. He didn't want to try fighting while in control of your body, because he would have just fucked it up.
Yeah, you would have gotten
he
dead.
He doesn't know what he's doing.
He's a healer. He's not a fighter.
I wave my hand. I don't care if you weren't fighting. What I care is it was uncharacteristic.
Compassion said he would watch and see how we could improve the ritual because he didn't think that it would work, and none of us thought that it would work. And
it didn't work.
Yeah.
Did he find a better way?
All at once, Elian, Compassion flashes a bunch of, symbols. You have no idea what the fuck they mean. It's all magic. But, a bunch of symbols pass across your visions. Oh, yeah, you should try with this symbol, and this rune, and this summoning ritual.
What is that?
Magic stuff, probably.
In the back of your head, Cassandra Faith is I told you he could do it!
Yeah, he has opinions. He has ideas.
Faith did encourage me to reach out to Compassion as well for his healing abilities.
And Faith, in the back of your head, Cassandra says, the panacea! Tell him about the panacea!
If we could get another spirit to willingly sacrifice, we could save May.
And Compassion in your head, Elian, puts up this, another extremely complicated, it's magic, you don't fucking know what he's talking about, but he's got a lot of thoughts and opinions about it. And he says, oh yes, the panacea, and then he, shows you this long process in the blink of an eye that you understand none of it. He's talking so quickly about shit you don't know about.
I just sort of, pat Ellie, and I'm like, I know it is complicated, but just as you would do anything for Leander, so would I do anything for May.
Leander is I am still in the room.
That you are.
Watching this completely silent.
You sure are, buddy.
I feel like Elian slowly turns. He did still know that he was there, but he was trying to avoid that knowledge.
Leander is in the same position he was in before you let the spirits take over. He is just sort of staring at you. He says, all three of you are possessed.
Yep.
I mean, yeah.
You do realize that you are technically 3 abominations in the last Templar stronghold in Thetis.
Yep.
I hadn't really thought of that.
Yep, killing abominations is one of those things Templars are supposed to be doing regularly.
Okay, well, just don't tell them.
Can they tell?
Shit.
I do not know. I am not a Templar.
We better hope they can't.
That is a good point.
We should have fucking talked to Dorian or anybody about this.
I didn't know this was a thing. I thought I was just having dreams.
That's because you're an idiot.
Justice makes it known in the back of your mind that he absolutely agrees. You're an idiot. And you should have figured it out a while ago.
Okay, I don't know about yours, but mine is mean.
I feel like perhaps you need a spirit like that.
I look at Cassandra, wounded. We're family, Cassandra.
I'm just saying, you might need someone to remind you, like Ren, to bonk you on the head sometimes, right?
Justice seems like he's okay with that. He's willing to undertake that burden for you.
I throw my hands up in the air at all of you. So what's next? Well, I know what's next. We have to talk to Lannon.
Yeah, we have to wait till
We have to
morning.
talk about Solus, and he's not going to like that. It's going to be a real fun conversation. I can't wait. I'm so excited.
But for now, all you have to do is sleep. The sun does eventually rise over the little monastery. The beds are not comfortable, and it's very cold and drafty in this castle. But you do get some rest, and in the morning, you come down to the mess hall and you see what remains of the Templar Order. And guys, it's not good.
Yep.
Every single Templar in the entire room looks like they've been hit by a truck. They all look tired and frail and shaky. Some of them aren't even eating breakfast. You're not 100% sure why, but it's not looking good. If this is the best that the Chantry has to offer, you might almost be better off without.
Well, assume we can't get them back up and running with Mayveris.
Right. I sort of glance at Ellie, and though I'm like, do you think, and whisper, do you think Compassion could help them somehow? I mean, through you, if he could tell you something.
I wouldn't understand it.
That's true. Compassion seems like he agrees. Like, yeah, I could help them. I just don't know if you would understand anything I tell you.
I just like look at Elian and like a look of like disappointment passes like quickly over my face. I'm like, that's right, I forgot you don't understand magic.
Compassion does make it known that he's willing to take a look. You know, he's willing to go to bat and figure something out for you.
Yeah, but can we do it without the glowing eyes?
He's not sure. Probably not, though.
Without alerting them, probably not.
Justice immediately barges into your head. Sabray's like, we'll keep them distracted. Like, start a fight, knock over a table.
Oh, God.
Set something on fire?
I'm, like, seriously considering it, and then I'm like, wait, no, that's a bad idea. It's a bad idea.
You see him, like, thinking about it, like, processing, wait.
And, like, after a little while, I mutter to myself, it just seems like a bad idea to start a fight in the middle of a bunch of warriors.
Justice says, yeah, okay, well... And then Justice, you're scanning the room, with Justice looking through your eyes, passively, not actively. And he says, well, we need something that'll keep their attention long enough for Compassion to get a good look. And then slowly your eyes trail up, and you see a big old chandelier hanging above them.
And we just see, like, Sabray look up.
I think I look at the two of you, and I go, I've got it.
Oh... Ellen gives you, like, a look, like, no.
I look at you and I say, look for my signal, and then I dash out of the room.
No, up.
Justice is totally on board with this. He's like, fuck yeah! Property damage!
God.
I just, like, look at Elian in distress. I'm like, they welcomed us in, and we are destroying their stronghold.
God.
Faith reassures you, Cassandra, like, don't worry, like, she sits across the idea, like, Justice knows what he's doing. But, you know, this is Faith, so.
Right. I'm like, maybe so, but Justice may know what he's doing, but you know who doesn't? It's my brother, my new brother, Uriel.
My brother's a dumbass.
I'm gonna go look for, like, whatever is supporting the chandelier up.
Yeah, it doesn't take you long. You can follow, like, there's a rope lead onto the chandelier that goes through a small hole in the wall, and, like, on the other side of the door, in a utility closet. Yep, you find a place where you can surreptitiously, perhaps, cut a rope.
Excellently. Does it look like anyone's gonna die if this thing falls?
Nope, it's sitting... I mean, a couple people might get injured, but the tables are set up in sort of a circle around it. You know what I mean? So it's not going to fall directly on top of anyone's head. There might be some, like, flying glass shards, but, you know, whatever.
That's just normal. That's
like,
a
risk
sacrifice
of
Justice
is willing to take.
Yeah, no, it's fair.
I feel like Elian is just like, okay, just be ready.
I'm, like, going through my head of, like, in my head, like, spells, like, okay, I have heal if needed.
Yeah, I'm just gonna go straight ahead and take a knife and cut it.
So he left you with, okay, wait for my signal, and then he dashes out into, like, a utility closet, and then about 30 seconds later, crash! The entire chandelier that's made of, like, cast iron metal just collapses into the center of this room, and every single Templar stands up like, what the fuck?
I just, like, stare at Elian in alarm. I'm like, what is he doing?
I just give you, like, oh.
Compassion sees the distraction, and it gives you the impression, like, that's Justice. That's definitely something he would consider a distraction and a reasonable thing to do.
Okay, I said be ready.
Compassion takes over your eyes, and you can feel him. You don't know what you're feeling for a second until you slowly put the pieces together. He's casting magic through you. You have never experienced what it feels like to cast a spell, Elian, but you can feel it now. It's interesting. It's like he's reaching through reality and pulling out matter and energy with his will. And that is not something you've ever felt before. It's a strangely, like, intense primal connection to magic that you experience at that moment. You basically, for a split second, you know what it means to feel like a mage. Ooh. So what's going through your head?
Freaking out, but trying not to dwell on that, because not like I've got control over that at the second anyway.
Reasonable.
So, you know, doing his usual thing of just like, okay, just dissociate. It's fine.
Don't think about it too hard. He casts magic through you, and he has cast on himself a vision spell. And you can see through him, but you're no longer in control. But you can see what he sees, and what he sees is a strange ethereal landscape. Like, it still looks like the room you were sitting in, but now there's like, the air is almost like liquid with like greenish mist that's circling through the room. And one thing that you notice, your eye is immediately drawn up, where hovering high above on the ceiling is, you see that.
That looks bad.
What is
Oh,
that?
no. What?
Compassion looks at it and he informs you without words, because again, they can't really like talk with words to you. They just give you impressions and feelings and ideas. And he identifies it as a desire demon.
Oh, great. What do we do?
Compassion sort of like falters for a moment, and he's like, kill it?
Okay, then maybe let me.
Okay. And then he vanishes. He stops casting the spell, and then you can no longer see the desire demon.
Oh, fuck.
I look at Ellie and I'm like, what did you see?
There's a demon, a desire demon up in the ceiling.
Cassandra, roll arcane lore.
Oh boy!
Okay, so typically mages are victims of demons, but not exclusively. With intense enough emotion, a demon can be called by anyone without really meaning to. When you hear Elian say it's a desire demon, Cassandra, your first thought is to connect it to their lyrium withdrawal.
Mm-hmm.
Because if anything is going to cause a really intense emotion, it's like substance withdrawal.
Right?
Like, that is a very intense feeling. And it's certainly intense enough to perhaps attract the attention of a demon. Now, if a demon is on this side of the veil, it's because someone specifically attracted it, which means you have got to find out who in this room has been possessed by a desire demon.
Great.
How do we do that?
I just sort of like sigh. Someone in this room has been possessed, and how do we tell?
You're the mage. I don't know.
I'm like, I turn inward. I'm like, Faith, any ideas?
Faith is sort of floundering too, and she like gives you a whole list of ideas like, well, I mean, demons are bound to protect their host, but you can't just go around like attacking every Templar you see, especially not as a mage. That would probably be bad.
Yeah.
Faith hesitantly offers up a very simple glyph in your mind that she puts the picture in your mind's eye, and she says, any abomination that crosses into this glyph will glow red. But that's how are you gonna do that?
Right. It's still magic, and casting magic near Templars in withdrawal, not a great idea. And did Justice come back? Or did Uriel come back?
Oh yeah, I assume at some point Uriel just kind of snuck back. He's like, it wasn't me.
Yeah.
God, how did that get on the middle of the... It's odd.
That's so weird.
This is the weirdest thing I've ever seen.
Justice gives you a mental high five.
Rose.
Absolutely. It's like the first time that we're agreeing.
Yeah, I'm just gonna like roll my eyes at you and like try to see if there's anybody that got injured. Is everybody okay?
Yeah, they're still sort of all scrambling around, too busy to notice that Elian was, using magic and glowing with white eyes and everything. Yeah, a couple of people look like they got the business end of some glass shards, but no one's dead, so you've got that going for you.
They're fine then, don't worry about it.
They're Templars, they probably deserve it.
Yeah, come on. I look at the two of you and I sort of like jerk my head, like we should go somewhere to discuss.
And leave this mess? Seems suspicious.
That's my best for messes. That's what you do in messes, you leave.
Justice would like to point out that is not a healthy way to deal with things.
Right, exactly. We'll now that we're family, we
Don't
will
need
talk
life
about.
advice from a fucking...
We're gonna talk about your coping mechanisms later, Uriel.
Not the time, thanks.
Maybe we can help, and then we can go out.
Yeah.
Be a little less. Ooh, this big bad thing happened, and boom, we're gone.
Yeah, at least, like, Kaz, like, at least wants to, like, help clean up, Like, there's all this huge mess. Like, you did this, Uriel, and
I did this for you. I did it for us.
I feel
Boy.
like Elian doesn't really consult the others. He just goes over to help out.
You all sort of help for a little while, cleaning things up, and then eventually someone from the utility closet says, "Someone cut the fucking rope!" And, oh, look at the time!
Have to go. Pressing business elsewhere.
right. So we were given free reign to look around in the morning, right?
Yep.
I feel like
We can use that as an excuse.
You all step outside to talk about what
Yeah.
Ellen
Yeah.
saw.
Yeah.
We find a nice quiet corner of the courtyard.
Yeah. So I say, so it's like, first off, A+ distraction on our part, right? Good job, us. High fives all around.
High fives, brother.
I just like roll my eyes and I'm like, is justice like this or is this Uriel's influence?
Faith, like, yes, justice is always like this.
Great. Perfect.
Great.
Perfect combination. I love this.
Okay, but second of all, did it work? What did we learn?
There's a desire demon possessing one of them.
That sounds bad.
Yeah.
It is bad. And worse, they are Templars. We can't really openly use magic around them to determine who is possessed.
Elian, you know, as having been around the circle, if it was known that one of the Templars was possessed, they would probably let you do just about anything to rout the possessed one out.
Yeah, that's what I was going to ask. I think I turned to him like, why can't we go back to our head Templar and tell him what's going on?
Presuming he's not the one possessed, it's not a bad idea.
Right, and also, I guess I am the mage. I could be, oh, I saw it. I sensed it.
Could you have sensed it in a dream?
Like, I think we just say that our mage friend here saw a demon. We know there's a demon here, and we need their help.
Right, we need to, okay.
Now, I don't know how, do you just wave your hands and you can tell which one's the demon?
Faith puts that image of the glyph in your mind again, Cassandra.
No, there is a glyph I need to draw, and whoever passes it will glow red. I can offer that service to when we tell them that this is the only way that I know of that Faith came up with.
Would they try to hide it if they're the one that's possessed? Could we do some sort of subterfuge, like say that we're testing them for their strength or something?
That's actually a really good idea.
Thank you.
I just sort of like look at both of you like, you want to lie.
Yes. All you have to do is cast it. We'll make the lie.
It's a Dalish thing, Cassandra. It's okay.
Like, this is part of your new culture now. And she's like, oh boy. Well, if I guess. I don't like lying, but
Well, we won't lie to the head Templar. We'll just lie to the rest of them.
that's true. It isn't a lie. There is a demon. That is the truth.
Right.
And we're trying to see if they're well. And if you're possessed by a demon, they're not well.
They are certainly not correct.
So there's no lie. No lying at all.
I love this. You guys are like, lying is great. Murder is fine.
You do eventually agree on your course of action. You're going to go find the head Templar. His name is Philippe. You learned that he was... Divine Victoria gave you some warning. The one in charge of this recovery monastery, he used to be the knight commander of Valroyo. His name is Philippe. And so you go to what you think is his office. It takes you a little while of hunting around, but it's not a very big building. And you do eventually find his office. He is still wearing that same drab brown robe when you come upon him. He seems a little bit surprised to see you so early.
We were hoping to catch you. I believe we found part of the problem. Something that's preventing you from all getting well as quickly as possible.
Philippe seems a little taken aback. It's like, you have been here for less than a day. Sounds a bit presumptuous. What have you found?
Our mage detected a demon, a desire demon.
Philippe straightens a little bit. He says, a demon of desire? Possessing a Templar?
Yes, I believe so.
He says, I have never heard of a demon possessing someone who is not a mage.
I haven't either, but
We also haven't had a bunch of lyrium-deprived Templars lying around, have you?
I mean, it isn't usual for non-mages to take lyrium, is it?
He says, mages use lyrium as well, but not in the amounts that Templars take it. I suppose theoretically a demon could manifest for any extreme emotion. He hesitates, he looks at you, Cassandra, he says, you're absolutely sure that you saw a demon?
I am, and I want to help them, even if it means that I have to cast magic. We have to find out who it is.
He says, you will not find a great many here who will enjoy seeing a Sarabas use magic.
I understand that.
He says, very well. What do you have in mind?
There is a glyph that I can write, and whoever, the one who is possessed, when they pass over it, they will glow red. That's how we will know.
He says, well, I suppose if there is any possibility of a desired demon possessing the bodies of one of our Templars, it is our obligation to find it. After all, the Templar Order was made to fight heretical magic. He says, all right, very well. I suppose I can have them line up.
We were thinking it would be best if we told them it was to aid, to determine who was the most ill from the lyrium withdrawal.
Says, well, you want to lie to them? Well, suppose it's no worse than the lies the Chantry has been giving us all our lives.
If the demon knows what we are looking for, they will not be easily identified.
He nods and he says, demons are tricky. You said it was a desire demon.
Yes.
He nods and he looks across the room of his office, and up on the wall he has mounted his old Templar shield and sword, and he says, taking up the blade again, not something I ever thought I'd do. I thought once I was free of my addiction, I would leave the Templar Order forever. Divine Victoria gave us that option. He says, but if there truly is a blight, if there truly is a demon in our ranks, then yes, I will take up the sword one more time. So Philippe, he sets it up. He's saying, the Divine Victoria has sent these 3 ambassadors to us to check on our readiness, and etc., etc., etc. And we have a mage here, don't mind her, she's doing some good Chantry sanctioned magic, so it's fine. It's fine if the Chantry sanctions it.
Yeah.
He comes back, and you have drawn this glyph, Cassandra, on the... Well, where have you drawn it? Where would you want to draw it?
I mean, there's flagstones presumably in the courtyard. There's the dining hall.
What kind of room do you want to be in, is what I'm asking.
Do we want to be in close quarters or no?
That's exactly what I was thinking. I was like, me playing the game, I'm like, no, not in a room. I hate close quarter combat. But also could fly away. I'm thinking, yeah, like out in the courtyard. Outside is fine.
So you go out into the courtyard. It is a beautiful morning in Varoyo. You spend a while drawing this glyph, and at some points you let Faith take over, because like, you're doing this wrong, you have to draw this line a little bit better. And she takes over and she fixes some of your mistakes.
That's fine.
And Philippe emerges as you are finishing up, and he says, can we test it?
Yes, it is finished. Go ahead.
He steps into the glyph, and nothing happens, and he says, I suppose that's not really proof that it works. I suppose we won't really know if it works until someone who is possessed passes over it, right?
True.
Indeed.
There is an elven servant. He'd been very quiet most of the time. He's been following Philippe around, which, well, you know, elves are usually servants, especially in Orlais. And Philippe, like, nods at the elf, and the elven servant steps into the glyph, and nothing happens. And the elven servant steps back and says, I don't know, I mean, I suppose there's no proof it works until it works. I'm just a little bit nervous. What if every single Templar passes over and we see nothing?
Well, it definitely can't be me, because as soon as they hear, like, they see a possessed mage, they'll be like, I gotta kill it. They'll go straight back into Templar mode and fucking destroy me. So, you know, let's not. I just, like, look at Sabre. I'm like, do you want to put your hand in a circle?
Did you just say that out loud?
No, I was like,
it's all implied.
Yeah, I just look at you like, how can we? And then I look at Ellie and like,
I just raised my eyebrow back at you like, really?
I just don't feel like we have to reveal ourselves.
I know, it's such a bad place, but
I think I'm just gonna look at you two and be like, if you and I think I say out loud, if you want me to do this, that's fine, but understand the risk.
Philippe says, do what?
I wasn't talking to you. I look back at them too.
Philippe, looks in confusion, like, I don't understand.
I just, put my hand on Sabre. I'm like, only if you want to.
You've drawn attention, you might as well.
Right.
I think I asked Justice, okay, buddy.
Justice makes it very clear he does not give a fuck. These Templars don't scare him. He doesn't know what a fucking Templar is, and even if he did, they wouldn't scare him.
He's like, what's a Templar? I'll kill it. Who cares?
Oh, now who's the fucking idiot?
Yeah, I'll kick his ass. What's a Templar?
I shake my head and I say fine, and then I let Justice possess me, I guess. And
Justice takes over, your eyes start to glow white, and Philippe staggers back. He says, "Maker's mercy!" and he immediately rips out his sword.
Hold. We know how this looks. Just trust us. Trust the divine.
Trust you? You are possessed!
He is possessed. Yes.
Justice winks at Philippe and steps into the glyph, and yep, he glows red. And Justice says through Sabre's voice, is like, Faith doesn't fuck up that bad. If Faith did this, it's fine. And he steps back out. And then he gives you control of the reins again. Oh, and Philippe looks like he's about to have a fucking panic attack.
I just look at him calmly it works.
We will explain, I promise.
What happens if I just if I step into it, just me, not possessed?
Yeah, you step into it, and yep, you go red again.
Okay,
you are possessed,
right?
You are possessed.
Fair enough. Okay.
Philippe is serious. There's a serious ethical quandary going on in Philippe's Templar brain. He's staring at you. His sword is out. He's not sure. He's not supposed to do. You're not supposed to have a spirit in you, and he wants to kill you because you're an abomination, and that's what you're supposed to do with abominations. But also, you were sent by the divine.
Yeah.
And
he's like, what?
You're here to help us,
Commander. We are here to help your men. We are here to help you.
He says, everything I have learned from my time in the Chantry has taught me never to trust an abomination.
I know. Believe me, I know.
The only cure for an abomination is death. I cannot stand idly by. And the elven servant, he is taking a shining to you, Sabre, because you're an elf as well. And also, you're not a servant.
Whoa!
And he likes that. And he says, oh, Commander, it's okay. You don't have to resort to violence. What about that old book? Remember the ritual that we found a couple weeks ago? And the Knight Commander looks down at the servant. He says, when did you hear about that? It's like, I was the one who found the book? He says, oh, right. I forget that you're here sometimes. He says, I
glare at him.
Yeah, I was like, I kind of glance at Uriel. I'm like, oh boy.
He says, that's true. There was that old book we found that claimed to have a way to peacefully separate a demon from a soul. Perhaps we could look into it later. And he's eyeing you. He's like, surely you want this situation reversed, I hope.
I mean, right now it's actually very useful, but in the future.
I feel like Elian's doing the charades behind his back of nod, yes, please, thank you.
Oh, you shouldn't have. If you wanted that, you shouldn't have talked to Sabre.
Sabre's gonna see why are you nodding?
I'm just staring at you blankly while telling the exact truth.
Of course we do. Of course we will be working to have this situation reversed.
I should hope so. To think at any moment you could burst out in heretical magic. You've been a danger all this time. And you can see the elven servant kind of yeah, he's always like this.
I don't even have. I don't know. Okay, can we just get this over with?
He says, yes, I suppose we mustn't we? He says, I'll have the Templars line up. And he's still eyeing you. He's back in his armor, he's got his sword out, and he's got eyes on
resisting the temptation to do that thing where you shoulder check somebody.
Please don't.
Please don't.
Please don't.
I'm just thinking about it really hard.
Let me be diplomatic.
Justice fucking do it, dude.
Yeah.
Just fucking punch him in the head.
He's a dick, but we need him.
Yeah, I look at Yariel, I'm just no. Just no.
I think I look at you and I say, we're gonna have to have a talk about his companion later. Perhaps he does no longer need to be at this estate.
Perhaps he could find a new job. Yeah. No,
I'm just thinking the Pappas estate has lots of... What's one more? Sounds like a researcher. We could use some researchers.
I just look at Yaria. I'm like, we are not here to recruit. We are here to help.
Just the spirit of my... It's a Dalish thing, Cassandra.
You keep saying that.
Oh my god.
It's a lot of Dalish things. Okay, let's do this thing.
Yes.
So you have the Templars line up and pass one by one over the glyph. And obviously there's 300 Templars here, right? And it takes a while. One steps over the glyph, nothing happens, and then they walk off wondering, why are we doing this? What is the point of this? As the Templars keep passing across this glyph, they keep getting more and more suspicious. What the fuck is this?
Right.
Why are we doing this? This is weird and bad. And finally, they get to one Templar who appears maybe a little bit more irritable because lyrium withdrawal. And he says, "What exactly is the point of this? Why are we all lining up like cattle?"
I look expectantly at Elion.
Yes. We are testing your level of lyrium withdrawal. If you are particularly ill, this glyph will light up and will let us know that you will not be able to recover. We're trying to help you recover from what has been done to you.
He says, "Horse shit." He says, "I was stationed in the Ferelden Circle.
Uh-oh.
I know exactly what this rune does."
Uh-oh.
He says, and he looks down at it. He says, "I have seen rune work just like this in the past. I know what it is you're testing for."
Then you'll be obliging and step over it, please, sir.
"And if I refuse?"
Well, then I guess somebody might have to make you.
Justice in your head, Sabre, is fucking push him into it.
Oh no!
For right now, I'm just gonna step up with my spear in a threatening manner.
We have the writ of the divine, which has given us the ability to...
He is not listening to you, Elian. He's looking straight at Sabre. He's like, "You think I'm going to kowtow to a knife-held little bastard?"
Okay, enter Cass!
I don't know if we talked about this. Knife here is a racial slur?
Yeah. Nope. That's what it sounded like. I think I just grin really widely.
Justice punch him! Punch him!
Yeah, and then I do.
Oh no!
Everyone roll initiative!
God damn it, Justice!
Hey friends, Tessa here. If you're desperate to hear the next episode, chances are good that you can by joining our Discord server. We post links to all episodes in pre-release, and you can even chat with us and listen live as we record. Join us by going to bit.ly/CFCDiscord. For more information on the show, character biographies, and links to social media, head to our website, critfail.club or critfailclub.com. You can follow us on Facebook, Twitter, and Tumblr. Crit Fail Club does not advertise at all, so if you like what you hear, tell a friend who might also like it, make a post on social media about it, or leave a review on Apple Podcasts. Full episodes are available on our YouTube channel, bit.ly/CFC channel, or wherever you get your podcasts.